Good morning, my name is Katie Dillard. I'm the Learning Programs Manager here at the Alamo. Welcome to our virtual Homespun, and today I'm going to show you how to do a period 1800s version yarn doll. So the items that I have on the table is a yarn doll in its complete form. So this is the yarn doll with its head, its arms, its legs, and that's what the end product is going to look like. Now, if you're doing this activity at home, this is what you're going to need. You're going to need some yarn, obviously. I chose a periwinkle blue, so whatever you have at your house. You're also going to need a book. This is what you're going to use to measure the yarn, so however tall you want your yarn doll. Finally, you're going to want a pair of scissors. So my scissors are in a chatelaine, which is what I carry around my neck, and that was very common for ladies to wear their scissors around their neck. You would also see these scissors on a pin, but you will need any kind of scissors. These are the kind that I'm using. You're going to want to cut short pieces of yarn to tie off the arms, the legs, the head, the feet, and the waistline. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And so you're just going to cut these. I usually like to cut it like this. So I just fold it. And I'm going to cut them out like this. All right, so you lay those aside. Next, you're just going to start rolling your yarn around your book. And this book is a spelling book, an 1824 spelling book by none other than Noah Webster. So this is a common book for people to be using to learn their vocabulary in the 1800s. So I'm just going to use this book as a measurement, and I'll just roll it around. Now some people like to have thick set dolls like this one. Some like to have thinner ones. I tend to like the heavier dolls. Usually I like to roll the yarn into a ball before I start doing this. It's a lot easier, but just keep rolling it. Now some dolls I like to add a head of hair on. So if you want to add hair to your doll, then you can get out a second color yarn. I'm going to go around a little bit more. And remember, you're going to want it to be thick enough so you have enough for the arms and the legs. And you don't have to stuff anything into the head. All this is yarn. So you don't need any extra material. Couple rounds some more. All right. Now what we're going to do is I'm going to cut this off and cut off a separate little piece. I'm going to put it underneath the yarn that I have. All right, and I'm going to scooch it up to the top and tie it off. This is actually the crown of his head, okay? So you want to tie that off first. You're going to tie it off. And then you're going to take your scissors and you're actually going to cut the other end. So you see how I'm cutting it? And my scissors are rather small, so it's going to be easier if you have bigger scissors. You keep cutting until it's completely severed from the book. Alrighty. Now all you have is sort of like a big tassel. So you start with the head, and I just turned it around so there's nothing coming off the top. But at this point, what you would do if you wanted to put a head of hair on your doll, you would actually take your book, you would turn it long ways, and you would roll the other yarn around that end, and you would do the same exact thing. And then you would tie that right around to the nape of his head, and then he would have a head of hair. But my doll is not going to have hair, so I'm just going to go ahead and make the head. I'm going to tie it around the head, real tight. Now, if it was long enough, I would give him a little bow tie or cravat. Okay, so that's to the front of his head. Now I'm going to take a little bit off for each of the arms. Okay, and then he's going to have legs, but before I make the legs, I'm going to give him a waist. And see, now you already know what the next couple of steps are going to be, because you're going to tie off the ends of the hands and the ends of the feet, and you're going to trim them. Okay, so for the arms, you want him to have short arms, right? You don't want him to have long, spindly arms. You're just going to make it real tight so it doesn't come loose. So double knot it, like so. And see right there, you're going to trim his hand, see? Because you want to have a pretty doll. Now, some people like to make a boy doll and a girl doll. And so you can leave this doll without legs, and it makes it into a dress. But for this one, I'm going to give him some legs. You can glue anything on the face to make eyes or a mouth. I used to sew on a little mouth or a smiley face, or you can just leave it blank. It gives it more room for imagination. And then there you have the legs. Now it's a little bit uneven, and so you do have to trim the legs as well. Alrighty. So see, there you have your yarn doll. Children in the 1800s would have been making these yarn dolls out of leftover yarn. You would dye the fiber first. Blue was a popular color. You would make the yarn out of that fiber, and then you would be knitting the yarn into more practical, useful things like gloves or socks. But any leftover yarn was for the children, so they could make their dolls, and that's what they would play with in the 1800s. I hope you have fun with this activity and make as many as you like.